Hey, LC, I think you're a bit on mute. I keep getting notifications that nobody can hear you. We can't hear you. Robert, you can hear me? I am muted.
No,
we can't hear you at all. Whatever beautiful stuff you just said, no one heard. Just
well, did I look good saying it?
Yep, there you are.
Yeah, you did.
I was trying to
good.
I was trying to tell you.
I've never done this with 3 people, so I'm learning as we go. So hey, it's live TV, right? It's live. Oh, and here's Tiffany. Now I get her private chats. I can't hear you. You're on mute. Gotta love live show. Well, that's the way it's gonna start out. So, well,
what'd you say?
Souls. Well, I talked about, well, maybe I shouldn't tell y'all. I might have gossiped a little bit. I talked about how beautiful y'all were and what a beautiful love and light, just beacons of light. Robert is smacking.
There's flies in my drag.
and Tiffany's infamous moment of clarity with Tiffany. I mean, I gave y'all some of the best and most beautiful props, but I guess I'll be the only one to know now. I'll be the only one to know.
I'm sure Helen Keller heard it.
I'm sure somewhere. Everybody, I hear all of them now. I can't hear you. Can't hear. I'm sorry, everybody. It's been a long day.
I just didn't want to do the show, but they made me.
Look. Oh gosh. Okay, let's recover
So
from
good
that.
to see you guys.
It is so good to see you too. I'm so glad that I got you both in the same room.
Abby, hi David.
Yes. Hey everybody. Sorry for my faux pas. So I'm glad I got both of you in this same room. I love this having this moment with you all. So how y'all been? Like y'all coming out of lockdown, and how's all that stuff been on y'all's end?
Good.
I mean, Robert says good.
I was just well, I'm in Florida, so we haven't really been locked down.
Really?
No. Well, safe. Just for that brief moment of time.
Really?
Yeah, well, brief moment. Robert's like 20 minutes from me.
Wow.
One thing I've missed out on is I used to have lunch with Robert like monthly, and we haven't seen each other in person in like a year. Oh
wow.
That sucks. We've talked a lot.
But now y'all tell me how far you live away from each other. So y'all are
down the street.
Oh, that's good. Well, that's pretty awesome. So, well,
2 totally different worlds.
For real. Well, we're going to talk about totally different worlds tonight, because that's the topic that I want to talk about, because, you know, each one of us are so unique that we represent so many different people right here in this one place. And so that's what I wanted to really talk about tonight. Like, I don't know for anybody else, but a lot of my mental health and the problems that I had came from really denying who I was, you know, trying to push down who I knew I was. And I think that doesn't just happen for people in the LGBTQ plus community. I think that can happen in all communities, all human beings, when they deny and try to go with the flow. And you know, you being a mental health professional, Tiffany, I just wonder, what do you see when you see people struggling in those areas?
In which areas? For the record, I've been signed in as an honorary member of that community. Right, Rob?
Absolutely. We you know, there's allies everywhere, but not just that community. I mean, just any. I think anytime people feel something,
like, I'm just like finding myself, and like we all have our insecurities, and like we've all had stuff we've gone through, and it's really how we handle our trauma and things that happen to us define our character and define who we are. And we could play victims or survivors, and just, you know.
So Robert did. Go ahead. I'm sorry. Keep going.
Robert's preoccupied on texting or something.
I'm listening.
I know.
I'm just going to share it because I shared the wrong video.
I know.
Because I'm pretty. I shared the wrong video. But yeah.
Well, at least I'm not the only one making mistakes here tonight then. Good, Robert. I appreciate you sharing the wrong video.
I was trying on the private chat. Dude, let's see. You're on mute.
I was looking on camera. I trained, look on camera.
I even unmuted myself and said, you're on mute, just to interrupt you, but
I couldn't hear a thing. Well, it told me it said something about your mic is unmuted, is muted. So I went over and unmuted it. So how it muted back, I have no idea. Unless it was up here at the mic, which it probably was. Again, been a long day.
It's okay. It's the weekend. We're allowed to do that.
It is.
It's pretty
cool. Truly is.
You're in North Carolina, LC, and Robert and I are in Florida, but same time zones. See the sun setting, and we've got the moon. We're all different, but we have the same moon to look at.
And that's what's so strange. I love that. I stand under that moon every single night and I think about that, just how small we are in the universe, how, you know, amazing things are and how different things look for everybody, and just how really one we truly, truly, truly are when we when we tend to judge a lot and judge one another. I think to myself, how can you walk out under this moon and make a judgment on any other human soul when each one of us are here, not dropped down by aliens, but each and every one of us created, you know, as not just, all the gays were just dropped here by somebody else. And, you know, it just blows my mind. And so, you know, that's what's been on my mind a lot lately. So I'm glad you guys are here to talk about it.
Yay. I'm fine.
I love Robert.
It's really that, you know, you were talking about how earlier, you know, Florida has been kind of its own little country doing literally whatever they wanted to do.
Wow.
You know, you know, when people are saying get back to normal, and I'm like, I really don't understand what that means now.
Wow.
Because, you know, we're getting conflicting information. You know, like, I am fully vaccinated, and now they're saying like you don't have to wear a mask now. But then, do we walk around with our vaccination thing on our forehead? People know, you know,
right.
It's
if you saw the NFL drafts, there was like room like for people that were vaccinated and then not vaccinated. It's like, what is that going to come to? Like back in the day, like different people, like not just boys and girls, like, you know, after the Civil War, it was like colored and white or whatever. Mm-hmm. Is that going to be like vaccinated and unvaccinated? And
there are people that don't want to get it, and that's their thing. But, you know, you know, it's get vaccinated or don't get vaccinated. Wear a mask, don't wear a mask. It's a lot of it's very confusing.
Yeah.
And especially here in Florida, where, you know, in other states, everyone's just like, you're wearing a mask, that's the end of it, done.
Yeah.
Here it's like, oh well, just don't die today.
There's some places that masks are required. Furniture shops.
Yeah.
But they can't enforce that here. They can't enforce it. So like, I see it all day long, all the time. People that it says, must wear a mask to be in this building, must wear a mask to be in this restaurant. And they just walk in like, I don't give a damn.
Wow.
And the whole point of the mask was what? To protect others. So it's really kind of a way disrespectful.
We don't know if we're still carriers, you know?
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah. Even being vaccinated, we still can carry it. So it's totally not like you're out of the woods, but we're closer to being there.
I think that, you know, it started out with so much fear. Like here in North Carolina, of course, we still have to wear a mask. We have gone back to, like, I'm on an island, so it's only reachable by ferry. So where they cut down the where they cut down the number of people that could ride that ferry.
This is fun.
Where they cut down the people, now they've, you know, brought it back to capacity, and it causes just a lot of anxiety. But we still wear a mask, and, you know, the big question: do you get vaccinated? Which vaccination do you take? I mean, I don't know. It just seems to be all wrapped in fear.
That is for certain.
Really?
Not even. No. And that was you know, Johnson & Johnson was the one, because Moderna was the one that came out first, and people were having horrible side effects, but it wasn't for everyone. And then the Pfizer came out, and then Johnson & Johnson came out, and they're like, oh, only one shot, but, you know, you're gonna die.
Yeah, I know. Well, I'll take the one shot anyway.
So, well, because 1 in 1 million people, but there was 9 people that died from it. So,
wow.
It was
out of like millions.
It's so, I mean, there's just so much fear around it, and you know, to think about what's our normal gonna be. I mean, I think that this is probably it, man. Like this is just the normal has got to be. My normal has become learn to just expect the unexpected and just move through with what I feel like is the truth in in me. I don't watch the news for that very reason, because I don't like to cause myself anxiety. I don't try to step in shit when I don't have to. Like, I try to see it coming. So, I don't watch the news, so I don't try to give over myself to fear, but there's no way around it. That just seems to be, fear is big business in at least our country. Fear is big business.
Fear of the unknown, fear of contamination, fear of intimacy, fear of commitment. Fear is the hardest thing to eliminate in the back of our head, and it causes people to react rather than be proactive. And hope is the only thing greater than fear. But I think what you're saying, I'll see if I can piggyback off what you're saying, is like the best way to get through all this is just be willing to adapt to change, and let's with it, because nothing. I mean, come on, the past year and a half has been crazy, and like no one sees anything coming, and then we just have to be willing to be hopeful that it's temporary. I always wondered if the Japanese had it ahead of us, because they don't handshake, they like do this, and they don't want. I wonder if they're just like, yeah, I don't want to catch that, but like they knew way ahead of time.
Cultural thing too. That had always been a cultural thing for Asian cultures in general, was not shaking hands, to wear masks when you're in strange places, and so it's a culture thing. But now, like, we are in that situation, so
yeah, for
I think
sure.
that they had it ahead of us, like just like the Olympics. They always beat us in gymnastics.
I don't know if from here on out, I don't know that I won't wear a mask. I mean, I just don't know anymore. I think it's about the time you drop into like a routine and go, oh, okay, wait, this is kind of safe. It just goes, no, let's switch it up. And now we're going to be all unsafe again. Because, I often tell people, like this year and this whole year for us, for me and my family, it's like the pandemic has been the smallest part of it. Where I thought that was going to be the biggest part, like all the other uncertainty has been what's come. So I've gotten like a boot camp in just learning to go with the flow, like you said, just learning to move with it and walk in an expectant that my life is growing and getting better. Like, I just look at everything as a growing opportunity. If not, you just get hopeless. Like, who wants to suffer just to be suffering? Not me. So, it all has a purpose for me, but not everybody can be, not everybody can live like that. And it's hard for me sometimes to think that not everybody thinks that way. You know what I mean? So sometimes I have problems being compassionate. I'm just like, what do you mean? Why are you upset? This is a learning experience. And people are like, what?
It's understandable. Like at this point, like we've had to be selfish. Like, we've had to, and you've seen how selfish people can be. But we've had to adapt to being selfish, like, I'm not going to be around this. I don't think it's okay for you to be, out here in the store with your mask off. Like, we don't know where it's going on, even when it was the lockdown and everything was cute. Yeah, I have to be selfish. Don't get in my space. Like, I don't know you. I don't know where you've been at all.
Whenever I see someone without a mask on and they get within 6 feet, I start coughing on purpose just to weird them out.
I don't cough. I tell them to back the hell up. This ain't Disney. Why you going?
It'll get too big, especially if there's a long line at Sam's Club. I went from number 12 to 2 just by.
That's the thing. It's almost like we've been forced into boundaries. We've been forced into boundaries. Like, and I think that there's
a lot of kind people that I haven't been able to see in person, my clients and stuff. I would love to just sit with them and give them a tissue when they're upset, or I'm a hugger too, a handshaker. I don't know how I'm gonna be able to change with that. And I see some great.
I've heard a lot of people say that.
Abby, a lot of people. And Sierra.
I've heard a lot of people say that, Tiffany. People that really feel the same way that you have. I know it's people that I know from the lockdown have had a lot of issue. Yeah, like they don't know what they're going to be. They really miss that part of
but
life.
I can't even when I see people in person, I still hug them. Like, I've been vaccinated too. I had the Pfizer. It's not fully kicked in though yet, but it will be. But even when I see my friends, I'm just like, oh, whatever. Like, screw it. I need to give a hug. I haven't seen you in like a while. Like, just I just have to. I don't know. I'm not going to change like that. I'm going to be safe about it in public and wear a mask, even though I've been vaccinated, and have my kids safe and everything like that, who I worry about the most, that they've been at school for a year and the socialization. And it's like the first time in a long time that I've actually appreciated online gaming, because they get to socialize and talk while playing games and stuff like that. But which I do with some of my favorite clients too. I don't know, just even on my free time. But that's me thinking of. But at the same time, I don't know. I just hope we get to a place where we can just go back to being ourselves.
I hope we come out even more ourselves in this whole thing. Like you, what you just said, like you've had that moment to really appreciate that part of your authenticity and really decide what is really authentically you and what you'll keep and what you want. I mean, I think that could be a really beautiful experience. I think for me, building boundaries was hard, and this pandemic forced me to do it. I think that I'll move out of this whole situation with a greater ability to build boundaries. What do you think you're going to take out of this whole thing, Robert, that you've learned about you?
I have learned that if you get to the liquor store at 11:59, you're the first one in there. So,
Robert, how has it affected your performance?
No, I know this is a serious thing.
Mask. Like,
it is definitely it's definitely a serious thing, because like everything in my business is about entertainment. Everything that I do is entertainment. As performers, as dancers, we've had to do performances where, and this has been, since things have opened up, it's been, we have to wear masks while we're backstage, but are we in rehearsal and wearing masks? And, we have to say it, we have to have adult conversations, which, 5 years ago would have been awkward to be like, hey, do you mind not wearing a mask? Or do you mind wearing a mask? Like, but now it's very much like, okay, so how is everyone? Where are you? Have you had the Pfizer? Are we okay? Staying in our group, make sure you're keeping that group small. Try not to go outside of that, because every time we come to rehearsal, you're affecting all of us. But for our drag community, we've been out there performing in front of people. Granted, not as many people, but we have like these shields and these masks and all this and all this, and people still get sick. Like you can only do so much. The shields that they have, you still can inhale and exhale everything. The face masks now that are clear, you can still see your makeup, but it's like you can't see the words, and that's kind of the whole point of entertaining. But it's just been a very odd situation. But I think if more of the entertainers that are out there would stay on that same page, because a lot of businesses are like, no, you don't have to wear a mask. No, you don't have to wear a shield.
I find it funny. Face shield actually says face shield, as if we don't know.
Yeah.
It says
like
face shield.
Bottle of bleach. It says do not drink. That some people just should have. It's a thing. But it's still going to be a hard place, like as you see online classes and people coming to class again. I'm teaching now again, and even in class, like there are still people that want to come, but they're still scared to be in a room full of people. I think the fear of what we've been through just needs to be clarified. Like it just needs to be clarified. Like there just needs to be one thought and be done with it, because everyone has their own opinions. Everyone's doing this, that, and the other, and no one is staying on the same basis. So like one bar I have to wear a mask, the other bar I don't have to wear a mask, this, that, and the other. I'm like, y'all, can we just get on one page? This is a lot. It's a lot, because you just never know what to do, because you may not have something that you need. For most of us, we all have masks and all that stuff in the car, and we have that. But
it's so odd for me to hear.
Why do you have an echo?
I don't know.
Someone has their volume up on a different platform. Robert, turn on your phone.
Huh?
Let me try to turn down my stuff. Can y'all still hear me? Am I still echoing?
I don't know. You
No
brought
echo?
up aliens dropping everybody on the planet. Maybe they're all your mothership is picking you.
Maybe they are. Maybe they're out there calling me in. I think that took care of it, right? That took care of the echo.
I just don't want everyone to wear a psychological mental health mask because of all this. Like getting real there, you know, like the face mask, but to not feel like they can't speak their mind or be themselves because of fear of the unknown or whatever. I don't want it to change people who we are, how comfortable we used to be, how everybody used to be so friendly and now not. And you know,
well, what I get afraid of, I guess, is because we're already dealing with certain issues of like, different groups all segregating off, and I don't want this whole vaccine thing to put us, like Robert was saying in the beginning, like are we gonna be now, and like you were talking about, a room for the vaccinated, room for not. I mean, are we gonna make the problem worse? Like are we all so quick to only, I guess, be with people who are like us that we forget to have a full experience? And I don't want that fear of all of that to cause that issue to get worse in the country and worse where we live.
It's definitely going to be that situation, even with the vaccination postcard, what was it, passport that they were trying to implement. Like literally they are trying to separate people from people. And, you're going to have those people that are not going to get vaccinated. They're just not going to do it, and that's just where we're going to be stuck. Are people going to still try to do whatever they want to, whether they're vaccinated or not? Absolutely. And, the only thing that I feel really bad for us as Americans, because we have the ability to speak our minds and to say what we want to, usually with no repercussions. But the problem with that has been when all of this got started, there were so many misconcepts and misthoughts and misinformation that we all ended up going in so many different directions anyway. So
true.
Now it's trying to, okay, so let's reel this in, and now it's just too late. So now it's just really like, okay, so if you're going to get vaccinated, just get vaccinated, call it a day. If you want a hug, give me a hug. You don't want a hug, no hug. It's kind of like one of those, it's either yes or no now. Like, because the path to getting Huh?
I asked Elsie if I could ring the bell.
It's just where we are. I don't think we will ever be the way we used to be. Like, I just definitely think I feel that, I always know that in the back of my head, oh my God, I forgot my mask. Like, even when this process is over, I'm going to still be thinking that because it was so important, because it was the difference between life and death.
Absolutely.
So it wasn't like, oh, well, I hope I bring it. No, I'm bringing it so I don't get sick. So my mind is not going to ever be like, oh, this didn't happen. It's not going to be like, kids 10 years from now are going to read it in their history books about how terrible America was at the time. But, it's still going to be in our heads. Like, where were you when the Challenger blew up? Where were you when, Corona happened? At home.
And it's it just still blows my mind to hear, again, you don't think about this because, it's not in your daily reality, but to hear that for y'all in Florida, that, you haven't experienced much of a lockdown, and that y'all are going through that type of confusion. And here we're trying to figure out how to sneak out of the house, and, like, we're all agoraphobic, at this point, to where I literally get, I mean, serious anxiety going into, different places. Like, this is a resort island, so it's starting to get to be summertime, and the masses of people that are coming here is just, like, I feel that anxiety. So then I have to work on myself even harder. And, it's it just, I don't know. It just, everything's so much bigger than me in at this time of the world, and things really intrigue me. So it just reminds me that we're not always going through the same things. And I just think that it's so, cool to hear y'all's perspective.
Well, we're not really here to talk about COVID, right? Like, I'm not vaccinated. Like, we're supposed to be talking about positive mindset during this pandemic. And
well,
at least I was preparing for it. We can talk about this is off all night, probably, but
I'm not. I've had so many blessings during this COVID. I mean, my wife waking up and coming out of a mental health crisis where she was fully very over medicated, has been the greatest blessing. Like COVID happening has given us a chance to rebuild our relationship and get to know each other again. And it's been like a really special time for us. Like I don't have complaints anyway, because I try not to do that. But there's been a lot of special things that have happened during this pandemic for me. Like, I know I will come away changed from this and will forever be grateful for all of it. But
I'll see, like, you, because of quarantine, or how did the medication change? I'm curious.
She had been being very over medicated. She had a diagnosis of bipolar disorder when she first came into recovery, and she just was in a deep depression, and the doctors that she had, in my opinion, were not trained well enough to be prescribing medications, and they were just treating her symptoms, not going to the deeper issue. And so she was highly over medicated. She was medicated. I mean, she had, at one point, we had 20 different medications she was on, and 13 of them caused drowsiness. And she was just non-existent in mine and my son's world. And it was a daily, we feared for her life every night. And for 7 years, she and I didn't sleep in the same bed. I mean, she slept downstairs. I slept in the bedroom. Every night we went to sleep. We worried if she was going to be awake when we woke up. And right before the pandemic hit, she had a slight heart attack. And that heart attack, though scary as it was, awakened her to, I don't want to die. Like, and it was really a lot of the side effects that she had been on those medications had been working on her organs for so long. I mean, the Seroquel itself caused her to have diabetes.
Oh, wow.
And
Seroquel is a weight gainer, big time. I mean, in residential, she would be gone.
She was suffering.
Even without eating carbs, but it makes somebody crave carbs, but you gain weight
a lot. She was just in a desperate
bypasses getting off of Seroquel, like, because of that.
It's dangerous. It was
more than one doctor prescribing 20 meds. Like, was it like a neurologist, a psychiatrist, all this stuff, like too many hands in the pot?
She had 2 different doctors, but they were not mental health doctors. They were through her outpatient program. So they weren't mental health doctors. They just had the right to write. And they don't listen to people. And they don't listen. Everybody who comes into a rehab center has one of 2 diagnoses, either bipolar disorder or borderline personality disorder, because we're dope sick. You know what I mean? Like, your mental health is going to be wild. It's always true until you get the drugs out, and then you can see. But when they diagnose the first day you walk in, you don't know. You can't literally diagnose for sure. But once they're stabilized.
It's also like what kind of mood you're in when you get your evaluation.
Right.
You could be in a mood, you could be in hyper mood, you can happy mood, whatever. You need to be reevaluated and checked on weekly, licensed therapist, so that you can make it be misdiagnosed.
Exactly. And see, she wasn't. It was just like, oh, here, you're still feeling depressed. Let's write some more. You still feeling depressed? Let's write some more. So then when the meds were
Did they ever
attacking her body.
her to a therapist as well?
No.
They failed her then.
They failed her. They almost killed her. They desperately failed her. But, you know, she has come. Oh, man. She has come. It really gets emotional for me because she did all that she is now herself.
Okay.
Oh, God. Yeah.
She's, I would have the bell.
Yes.
It's right there. Sorry.
Yes. She's beautiful, man. She's beautiful. She's off of all of the only medicine she takes is for the type 2 diabetes, and she takes one other med. That's it. I mean, for all of those medications, and I don't recommend this, people listening at home. If you're on medications, please get, you know, let medical doctors help you get off of that stuff. But she did it. I mean, she did it herself. She wanted to live that, you know, she wanted to live it. Her life mirrored in her face, and she said, "I'm not ready." And I mean, who she is today is a gift to me, man. I mean,
It's all about understanding the mental health, the real root.
Yes.
I hate when someone is like funny, like, and then no therapist. Oh, that gets under my skin.
Yeah, because you can't heal.
Person
medicine doesn't heal. Yes.
That person needs a bad review. They did a disservice. You can't just give a magic pill. It needs coping skills. And people need someone to talk to you. And and even then, we don't have a magic wand either. But at the same time, it takes a therapeutic milieu to help somebody, not just over medicate. Then people become addicts, and they I'm gonna get on that you don't want me on.
No, it band-aids. What it does is it just band-aids, or it puts somebody so far out that, you know,
it's worse. It's not just a band-aid. Sometimes it actually makes things worse.
Oh, it did. She was so, I mean, she was a shell. She had no quality of life. And it just made us, my son and I, it just made us so sad to see the wasting away of this woman that we loved.
And it was so great that you were supportive, because a lot of families break up because of that.
Right.
There were times
supportive, and some people are like, oh no, I can't put up with this anymore, the mood swings or whatever, and it's not their fault.
And there were times now. I'll tell
you're a great guy, you're a great man. LC to have stood by and like told your son to stay by too. That's great.
I mean, there were times when it got so rough, just to tell you the honest truth. Like, there were times when it got so rough because I was trying to be in recovery after, you know, 22 years of active addiction, like be in recovery, keep a roof over our heads, you know, try to raise our son, not really let him see his mom in this, because I didn't want his idea about his mom to change. You know what I'm saying? Like, I didn't want that. And then sometimes I was healing myself. So I would get so frustrated that, you know, I made mistakes in there. But the thought of leaving her, because I'll give you this little history. But in 2008, the doctors had given me 6 months to live. Like, my whole self was shutting down from mental health. I mean, I had just given up. I lost too much. I'd given up. I couldn't use my legs because my muscles had just, you know, I couldn't use them. And she would pick me up, carry me to the bathroom. She would bathe me. I mean, like, this woman had been there for me, and there was no way, shape, or form that I was going to leave her in that situation. Like there was just no way. So yeah, like, this COVID has just been a beautiful blessing for us in many ways. It's shaken us up greatly, but it's been like, I'll forever remember this time in our lives because the gift of her coming back to me.
Good. Yay.
Thank you. It's good. It is a bonus. It's a beautiful bonus. Yeah. So what about y'all? What's the gift that you've gotten here? What's the biggest gift?
Well, go ahead, Robert. Or I can go. Okay,
well, I can. Actually, I can. it was, the actual fact of addressing that I have some issues that I needed to deal with, and then, I don't think I would have had I not had the time to myself, had I not had, the constant reminder that something's happening, something is wrong, I would have gone about it and things just would have kept going and going and going and going. But, I've been with my therapist for since December now, and a psychiatrist, which is yay, awesome.
Yeah.
So I'm very proud of that. And I mean, to me, that was an amazing gift because I feel like I'm getting my life back together. I don't feel like I had strayed so far, but, I've also been blessed to be able to have, good people like Tiffany that helped me to figure out what I needed to do, because now I'm starting to see more in our community, especially since I'm out there so much. I am very much out into the LGBTQA plus Z, whatever.
I know.
It's going to change tomorrow anyway. But it's been helpful for me to help other people out there, because I'm like, now I'm actually experiencing it. I am seeing the light at the end of the tunnel. I was literally scared, like every day I'm going to have a panic attack and this one's going to kill me. Like I was living that, like it was every other day. And, I had one, I think like 3 or so weeks ago, but, I've been on my medication for 2 months now. And, I've noticed a difference in me because like, I'm a little more confident now to go places. I used to have to
drive now.
Huh?
Can you drive now over bridges?
I can drive. Yeah, driving's fine. Now we're working on getting on a plane because we have no choice but to get on one next month. So baby steps, and we're stepping really tiny right now, but it's a beautiful blessing to be a part of that. And I do believe, had COVID not happened, I wouldn't have had this gift of the experience of actually getting mental health taken care of and literally listening to people who are surrounding me saying, hey, get this together. And I'm very blessed that I am like out there in our community, so I'm always around great people, but there's so many that aren't. And that's why, for me, just talking about it, like in general conversation, hey, by the way, these are some people that you can get in touch with if you're having a bad day. If you're having a bad day 3 days in a row, that's not a bad day. Those are things that are happening on a regular basis. So now it's time to start talking to people. And, the one good thing that I love about me is, a lot of people send me a message on Facebook and they're like, hey, so I'm not feeling good and I don't know why. Well, I'm like, I'm not the expert on that, but let me show you someone who can.
That's great.
That's been a gift for me.
Stop sending everyone my way, dude.
Awesome.
Okay. I'll make a list, girl. I'll make a list. Because there's definitely a list now. It's nice to be able to help other people.
That is awesome. That's a great gift. That's a great gift. And I'm so happy for you. I'm so happy for you that you're feeling good and love it. You deserve that.
It was really bad, like I was like, and I'm a show person, so me having a bad day is like, okay, it's over. 5 minutes I'm mad about something, but like living like that every day was miserable. It was horrible. And I'm looking forward to what happens next.
That's great, man. I love that. I'm so excited about that. I'm so excited about that for you. I am. You're such a you're such a beam of light. I just love it. I don't ever want that to be dimmed.
Me either. Ever. That would mean I'd be dead. Oh.
So good. I'm so glad. Tiffany, what's your gift?
From COVID?
Yeah.
Well, it took a lot of sacrifices for sure. My office probably has a layer of dust on it. I haven't been there since March. I haven't seen a lot of people in person that I would love to see. Some of my clients have never met me in person.
Oh, wow.
My kids have been homeschooled and have lost socializing with a lot of their friends. However, Is it really going to go to the bathroom? Oh my God. However, it forced me to be in the radio studio. I couldn't be personal in the radio studio because we were locked down. So it forced me to be virtual.
Dinner was going on. It was crazy.
Don't burn dinner, boo. Don't burn it.
No.
There's been a lot of sacrifice. Now I've got the giggles. Sorry, I was
It was pork loin. We don't want that to burn. It's horrible.
No, don't dry it out, bro. Don't dry it out.
I don't know. I need some off or something.
The invisible flies.
They're invisible. That's the problem.
We've completely lost Tiffany.
Oh, I love Tiffany.
I lost her.
For a second, I'm starting to cry. Why? And they're like, you got up. I'm like, did he really get up to go pee?
No.
Tiffany, how have you been suffering? He's like, 1 minute. Gotta run.
But the run away is what I love the most. The trot away. 1 second and the trot away. I love it.
It was just getting
I made a lot of sacrifices, and I worked from home and like rearranged my at-home office a bunch. I even tried to make the second bathroom an office. That sucked. Put the laptop on with the green screen as a shower curtain. I don't know. It's just finally it just whatever.
But did it open you to
I'm getting there. I'm just trying to breathe because Robert still got me
Let me just ask you this though: did you actually do telehealth or anything before COVID?
Well, it wasn't really allowed. That's the thing.
Was it not? I didn't know.
No. The telehealth was.
Okay.
Now it's enforced because people need help, and I don't know but no, face to face is supposed to be like the way to do it. There were suicide hotline calls and
right.
That, but telehealth, no, unless they're like medically unable to attend a therapy session. There's those. So this is all the licensed therapists and psychologists had to readjust to this too, where I had all sorts of in-person activities to alleviate stuff like EMDR or guided imagery or reading non-verbals. This is all different. I had to adapt to it too. Sorry, Robert. Why do you do that to me? Anyway, but during this, because of that, I had to batch into the studio because the radio station for Moments of Clarity show, big spiny microphone, and I wasn't going to touch that and everything. My son has a heart defect, so I'm being hypersensitive probably, but at the same time, we didn't know at the time, a year ago.
Mm-hmm.
And it forced me to go into Zoom and then all sorts of you have live stream and whatever, but I would have never figured that out had I not by accident batched into the radio station and figured out how to do it virtually. And then now it's expanded in the YouTube channel. MOC with Tiffany, youtube.com MOC with Tiffany. I guess well over 11,000 subscribers. So I get to reach more people as well as radio, which reaches 12 million, and then all the podcast stuff and that. That's the bonus. Even if I have this background, look, the sun went down on us.
I know, mine too. It's just flat.
But you know what I mean. So I got to explore and be more creative with my outreach on ending the stigma on mental health, which you guys know I'm very passionate about.
Yeah.
Thank you for that.
Yeah. Right. Yeah.
Thanks for that. Yeah. You guys have both helped me along the way too.
Well, I mean, we got to talk about it, and I'm so grateful that I'm grateful that you're here and talk about it so much.
Both of you, and for having me here.
Yeah, I mean,
we get along too. I'm like, you gotta meet.
I know. Well, I love Robert. I really do love Robert. Like we're gonna work on some things in the in the community together. I mean, we both have a passion for, I think that all three of us here, right? Like I think that we all have like a gift when we're comfortable within ourselves and what we do. Then I think that we have almost like not necessarily an obligation, but I think that we are givers and we like to give it out. So I think that's what we're supposed to do. And because not everybody, is comfortable within themselves. I mean, I wasn't for a very long time, and it almost killed me. The honest truth is it almost killed me. And there are so many daily suicides in our communities and everywhere, and all people that are suffering in silence. And it takes people like us, to say, hey, I'm transcending this, and you can too. Because I don't know about either of y'all, but I thought that I just would have never pictured myself here. Like never. Like never. That wouldn't have been me. So to me, it's I've been given a gift of life, and it's up to us to share it. So Robert and I are going to do a lot of that. You're going to be a part of that too. I mean, we just want to keep making this just bridge out.
However I can. It's just hard to be serious around Robert sometimes for me. He's really an entertainer, and he's one of my closest friends. And he just cried.
I'm just fun, But the thing is that, especially from my end, and especially coming from an entertainment background, speaking about it is not just literally saying it. It's about the fact that you're being heard. And, that's why for me, most people that I know that I've been around lately know that I'm on medication to help with, my panic attacks and my anxiety disorders. So talking about it makes people, even if they're not paying attention or not giving a fuck, somebody's listening.
Yeah.
And that's the conversation that we have to have. That's why it was such a faux pas when someone said, oh, I need to go see a therapist, or you need to go see a therapist. It's not saying something's wrong. It's just you've acknowledged something that you want to fix.
Yeah.
Not even that. Okay, so I am a therapist, and I have my own therapist. I'm not afraid to say every healthy adult should have one.
Yeah.
Especially when I can't tell anybody what I do all day, and I'm soaking in everything else. And it's not even like I tell the therapist that, but I want to talk about my anxiety and that, and I'm on medication for that too. Who cares?
Yeah.
I'm on high blood pressure medicine as well. Am I going to be ashamed of that? No.
That's the thing. Yeah.
Aneurysm or stroke. Period. And I don't want a panic attack or intrusive thoughts.
Yeah. Yeah.
So what?
Yeah.
It's just a thing. It's a thing. And that's, again, why I was saying,
the story, they fix it. Fix the problem. Like, if there's a solution,
just talk about it.
Happy the full potential of our lives.
Yes.
Why not?
Absolutely.
Why be scared? Why worry about what? Oh my gosh, you're scared because we're going through this pandemic and all this unknown stuff and everything. Oh, and shame on you. Okay, join 50 billion people. I don't know. It's like everyone.
Everyone is going through something. Everyone literally has
everyone. And if they say they're not, they are the ones with heads in their freezer. They're the ones that are like the ones I'm scared of.
Right.
We'll say.
We have to remember, like,
they're the ones killing people.
I want to say
whatever.
Because it's a mind-blowing situation, but a lot of people don't think about it. But I look at things very much as what it is. When we had to go into lockdown for this pandemic, we noticed that there wasn't a whole lot of murders. There was a whole lot of non-school shootings. There was a whole lot of not blowing up random things. People were literally scared, and their crazy was kept at home. Right? But now we're opening back up, and that crazy has been sitting there waiting to get out. Not that I'm calling anyone crazy, but you know what I'm talking about. I'm just saying, like, we have to have some outlet for these things to happen.
I have a close friend today, right before the show, lives in Washington State, and there was a mall shooting today, and her store, literally, the glass got broke by one of the bullets. Today in Washington, I forget, whatever, some city that's outside of Seattle. I can send you like today. Like,
wow.
Yeah, that's what I'm talking about. Like,
I don't know how to see that stuff coming.
Yeah, because like you can wear the mask now, and it's just like what we're supposed to wear. But you can go up into the bank and be like, "That's the one place I don't. I go to the drive-thru. I'm not wearing a mask at the bank.
Now we gotta go through that again. Oh, let's get through the pandemic and let's go back to like mass murder shooting and like people just.
No, it's again like everyone was locked up. Everyone had no. There's so many people that didn't have anyone to be locked up with. There's so many people that were locked up with person.
Those are isolated people, which that's why I started a group. A lot of groups. Mm-hmm. You guys have known about some of the groups I've started too.
Mm-hmm.
I have an adult support group, teen groups, LGBTQ groups, other groups, other. Well, during this time, but I mean, it's like one thing after the next, and of course, it's affecting everyone. And then our frontliners were getting bricks thrown at them and water. Like I am. Don't start with me. this is LC show. I'm not.
Well, I think that
people put their lives out there to fix stupid.
Well, I appreciate that, each one of us does our part where we are, and it does get frustrating because sometimes we feel like we're doing all that we can do, and sometimes I just know for myself, sometimes you wonder, is anybody listening, or is it helping? Is it, and I appreciate everyone coming out as who they are, like not trying to hide your mess and pretend that you got it all together. I think there's a true benefit and a ripple effect in each person that's here on this stage and each person that's watching to be themselves where they are and talk about, don't be afraid to talk about your mess. I mean, we all have mess, and if we try to pretend like we got it all together, I don't think that we are as effective in what we're trying to do unless we can say, I'm there too. So, taking meds, there's nothing wrong with taking meds.
No one's got it together. And when they try to pretend like they do, they look stupid, in my opinion, because you could read right through it. Okay, your life's perfect and nothing's wrong. And then, let's see you behind closed doors at the end of the day and see what happens with your family.
I think you
doesn't matter.
Right. Well, I think the best parts of our lives come when we get vulnerable. When we get vulnerable, we have the closest relationships. We have, the greatest experiences, and I hope that
growth.
Absolutely, yeah.
When you are able to tell your problems to someone and heal from them, it's like, why not? Why would you just try to live with stuff and on purpose?
To be honest, it's really nice to talk to somebody who don't know nobody I know.
Yeah,
that's just lovely. Nobody.
That's the truth.
If these walls can talk.
Right.
Yeah, Robert was like, "Can you be my therapist?" I'm like, "No." I think you should find one. I know well, and I know some people so no.
I'm very excited about it. Again, I've had some of my friends in my circle that have reached out about it, and I know that in our community it's becoming more prevalent and visible. Metro is offering mental health counseling, so is Empath Partners in Care. They're offering mental health services. Now CVS is doing it.
Wow.
What?
CVS.
That is news.
Wow.
CVS. like greens, like for everybody that's not in Florida. Like I don't know how
awesome.
Is CVS in North Carolina, Elsie?
Oh yeah. Yeah.
I don't know if it's nationwide or what, but it's a pharmacy. They're offering mental counseling.
That's awesome.
Like that's by awesome. Therapist or by the pharmacist or what? I'll look into it later. Whatever.
That shows how important it is. That's how it shows how important that we're waking up.
There is such a weakness. We need more people to stand up and give good help and not like what your wife went through, Elsie. Like we need people standing up and working. That's one of the things also that's benefited me, like about not being in the office, which I miss the person-to-person thing. However, I wouldn't be there like doing this on a Saturday, you know? Or from 10 a.m. to 10 p.m. without a break, because some of my clients are like forgiving if I'm 5 minutes late because I have to use the bathroom really quick or whatever, or like get a glass of water. Just they understand. I'm like, oh, sorry. I sometimes, you know, nature calls, whatever, but they understand. But I see more clients virtually because there's no way I'm going to be in a counseling center by myself as a female, like in stilettos. And of course, I could kill someone with my stiletto, but at the same time, and my taser, I know, right? But I took some taekwondo and kickboxing. Like, don't underestimate me. But at the same time, regardless, I don't have to do it. And I want to come home for dinner. And like this allows me to see more people. So the virtual telehealth is not as personal sometimes, but it allows me to see more people and not have to worry about killing someone with my stiletto. Like
That's awesome. Well, tell everybody. I in the description we've got Moments of Clarity with Tiffany. We've got your YouTube link in the description. But tell everybody, for anybody who, I mean, if there's one person here that doesn't know, I can't imagine that they don't know who you are, Tiffany. But tell us where they can find you. And
you always over compliment me, Elsie.
Hey, I believe in you.
I know, but you make me sound like I have so much. When I am at that point, that means the stigma on mental health is over.
Amen to that.
I have so much room to grow.
We have so much work to do. Like we've all just gotten started. So, Moments of Clarity. Is it
I'm been on 7 years. It's not just like, but still.
Moments of Clarity with Tiffany at YouTube.
The Facebook videos of like, because I did it for a few years before virtual was even an option. And then all this reshame that we've been. Then Robert remembers he's been in the studio a couple times, 5, like with me doing stuff. I don't know. I always promote your stuff.
Robert, what are we like? What do you want people to know most about you, and if they can hook up with you, or just tell us, lay it all out, give it all to us. How can people get more Robert?
It's pretty easy. I am on social media, obviously. My drag persona is Raquel Blue, ROCKELLBLU. You can find me on Instagram, occasionally on Snapchat. I just don't like it. But I'm mainly on Facebook. You know, my thing is right.
Cool for Snap.
I know, it's just I don't have the attention span for it.
Come on.
I tried. I can't do TikTok. I just can't do it.
It's awful.
Anyway, but you can find me on social media. I'm out and about in the community. I will be hosting the main stage at Tampa Pride this year, which is coming up on May 22nd.
Yeah.
I am always out and about. If you see me, for any of you guys who are out there, you can always message me on Facebook. I am doing my best. We are, my company, Rocket Productions, we are in full pageant mode right now. So we have several pageants that we are getting ready to go perform at across the country. So we're very excited about that. So if you guys need dancers or professional,
did you ever finish up the Closet Ball 2022? Like where Alexis
Adam Cole is our first transgender man to win the title. So
you got the transgender man.
Yes, very excited for him. And right now we are preparing
him. Give him a tiara. What do you give him then?
Oh, he gets a crown on his shoulder.
Cool.
Beautiful.
Yeah,
beautiful.
It's a very Vegas thing. We're actually getting him ready to go to nationals in June.
Alexis didn't have to give up her crown.
Oh, she did, but we.
Oh, poor dear. All right, we'll talk later. Sorry, Elsie. I'm just.
But yeah, we're very excited for him. He's doing great. He's going to be the first trans man to compete in the All-American Gent pageantry system. So I'm very excited for him. This is new stuff for me. So either way it goes, I'm out and about. If you want to find me, you definitely can. I'm not hidden anywhere.
I love it. I love it. Well, it's been.
I didn't answer your question because I got sidetracked. But
I know. So
the clarity is on. It's on Facebook and most podcasts. You can ask Siri to say, "Subscribe me to Moments of Clarity with Tiffany," and she will. And Spotify and iHeartMedia and all that stuff. And it's on Facebook on 8 stations. But I'm really trying to build up the YouTube channel because to be honest, I think Facebook is gonna ban me. I've been in jail way too many times by accident, and I'm trying to move, and I'm trying to sell a rug, and they ban me from Marketplace. I'm like, what did I do wrong? Like, it's kind of sensitive. So, like, if you watch me from Facebook, please go to the YouTube channel because I don't know. It might not be. They might not accept me anymore. I guess I try to sell an area rug on like more than one place, and I broke community standards. I don't know.
They're out to get you.
I feel like that. So anyway, youtube.com/MOC with Tiffany.
Awesome.
And just subscribe, please, and follow the YouTube. And then also, I'm gonna have LC. And you're gonna show as that channel with that. So I'm gonna share this on my channel as well. We're gonna collaborate. We just haven't had time to do it. I'm trying but it's been in the works because I support what you're doing and likewise.
Thank you.
We'll figure it out.
Absolutely.
But it will happen.
Absolutely, we will. It's been a crazy time, but everybody just do the best you can. Reach out when you're feeling, when you're feeling down or when you're feeling like you need to. Just reach out and get support. Do not suffer in silence.
Yeah. No.
Please.
We stand together as one.
That's right. That's right. So, guys, thank y'all so much for joining us. This has been a beautiful experience.
Here and people I know, and thanks for watching. And
yes, everybody, thank you.
That's awesome.
Yeah, I love you guys. I love Joe Potosi.
And they did anyway, and I love it.
I love you guys so much. Thank y'all so much for joining me tonight. And I will, of course, see y'all again next time. For everybody watching, thank y'all so much. And y'all catch us Wednesday morning. All right.
Be kind to yourself and a stranger. You never know what they're going through.
That's right. Be kind to one another. All right, everybody. We love you. Y'all have a good night. Bye, guys.